His own life moved Charles Dickens to write, "There is nothing so widely shared in all of childhood as a sense of deep injustice." "It's not fair" is a cry that echoes across cultures as a sort of universal anthem of early childhood. For every child's desires will sometimes outpace both his abilities and his opportunities. It's part of the human condition. We all start out small, living in the land of the giants. A storyteller in Japan. In this traditional tale, a wonderfully tiny boy leaves the safety of his parents' home and embarks upon a stream of adventures in which he proves himself brave and worthy. In all cultures, such stories help children understand that their small size and weakness, along with their fears, are only temporary, just a part of growing up.
Benjamin, the oldest of the three Golston children. They live in a suburb of New York City. Their parents, Felton and Anita, try to respond sensitively to the individual needs of their children. In that way, they compensate for the inevitable effects of birth order.
Just take what you want.
Malcolm Golston is 3.5. His older brother Benjamin is almost 5, and the firstborn.
They're not going anywhere. He's sitting right there.
A child's belief that he doesn't get his fair share can be very insistent.
4 and 4.
It can contradict even the evidence of his own eyes.
How many do you need?
4.
You have 4.
No, I don't.
Count them. How many do you
1,
have?
2, 3, 4.
Right.
This is not 4.
You just counted them and told me it was 4.
Malcolm insists that his 4 is less than
I
Benji's.
can't.
Did you try it?
Anita sees her job as creating an environment that will diminish the effects of birth order and enable all her children to find self-esteem in their individual qualities.
Look.
That's not the hand you write with. Write with this one. Do this hand. Look. Do this hand. Here. Open your fingers wide. Here.
They do grow up in the same house and they have the same parents. And yet, from as early on as you can notice, if you're paying attention, they start to show you that they're just different people. They're their own person.
No, come on, help me.
Around. Good. You gotta watch what you're doing.
A good example is when Benji was a baby, infant, 2 months, 3 months old. He loved to be carried, he loved to be rocked, he loved to be held by somebody all the time. When Malcolm was that same age, you had to put him down. He simply wouldn't stand for it. He'd kick and he'd shake and he'd cry and he'd be unhappy and you couldn't figure out why, and you'd put him down and he'd stop. And it's really kind of turned out to be, again, some facet of their personality, because Benji always wants affection, always wants the hug, always wants the snuggle. Malcolm wants to choose when.
See? I messed up.
Wow, you made a giant hand.
Anita Golston appreciates her children's uniqueness. She also understands that there are limits to any parent's influence.
I would like to think that what we do with them, the time we spend with them, the values, the morals we try to teach them, are going to make them the kind of people we'd like them to be. I really also believe that there are some things that are already there, some ways of seeing or being that I don't have anything to do with at all. And I think as their parent, my role is to try to shape them in some ways, but certainly not to impose so much on them that they can't be who they are. And I think who they are is already in there. I don't think I put it there.
How do children get to be who they are? The process is more intricate than we thought just a few years ago. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Earlier on childhood, we met the Oliveira family when Maria gave birth to Sydney, the youngest of their 6 children. Most people think that it's either genes or environment that makes them all so different.
We're accustomed to thinking of environments as all that exists out here, and of genes as being inside the body, under the skin. But you know that's misleading. That's not the way things work. In fact, we have a physical and social environment out here, but we also have a biological environment inside that influences very much the way genes work.
It's not genes or environment, Scar asserts, but the way the two interact that drives development.
Genes influence environments, environments influence genes. Together, they make a person.
So every child, Scar stresses, is a new and unique character in the drama of family life.
The child is not a passive recipient of environmental influence or of genetic influence. Rather, the child actively helps to shape the family and the family environment through her own personality and talents and interests. The result is that each child experiences the family differently and influences the family differently. So it should come as no surprise that each child in the family is different from other family members. It's not being born first or second that makes a difference. Rather, it's the child's unique combination of genes and experiences that make her a unique person.
Nadia Kalugin among the giants, in Moscow, in the park, with her parents Sasha and Natalia. Like parents everywhere, the giants tell Nadia what to do. The style is different from that other band of giants, the Golstons of New York. Maybe it's Russian culture. Perhaps it's their own life experience. But Natalia and Sasha leave no doubt that the giants are in charge. Parental styles differ between cultures and between families. But the fact of being small and dependent is universal. Like giants everywhere, the Kalugins have their children almost entirely in their hands, caring for them, teaching them how to live in the world.
Катя, ты ничего не боишься? Вот что плохо, а?
How their 4 children get on with each other will depend in large measure on how the parents deal with each of them. Resources of every kind, not just economic, but resources of culture, of the spirit, of human generosity, will define what life is about to these children.